Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Trader Nick. I make free Forex educational content here on YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about how to find the end of one trend and the potential start of a new one. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how you could potentially line up some clues to find out if a market may be ready to change directions or to end the current trend it is currently in. Today specifically, we're going to take a look at XAU USD because I believe it has a fantastic example on the daily that we can possibly learn from and use in our future trading. If you're new to my channel, do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button and also like the video. That definitely helps me and shows myself and others that you are enjoying the content that I'm putting out for free here on YouTube. So with that said, let's get into XAU USD. Like I mentioned, our concept today is looking for clues in the market that a trend may be ready to reverse. We had a fantastic run up here on XAU USD to the upside. You can see lots of bullish momentum here for many months really on this currency pair. And if we draw a trend line here, what we can actually do is we can identify that during the course of this bullish trend, there were multiple times where price was supported by the bulls and pushed to new highs, forming higher highs and higher lows. This was a clear indication that price was actually very strong and very held by the bulls, which created this very strong uptrend that we see here. However, there came a point in this trend where we saw something change. Now, this change could have actually been our first clue that the market was ready to start to head south. Okay, so what we saw here, like I mentioned, was we had lots of points on the charts here where price was held by the buyers and propped up each time. However, when price came to this point here, you'll see that this was the first time that buyers were not able to hold up their end of the bargain. They were not able to buy this market higher. And in fact, when sellers got hold of this and buyers saw that the level was not being respected, there was a flush to the downside. You can see price moved down very quickly off of this level. In fact, this was our first time in this entire series of this uptrend that we saw a pullback that was not supported by the bulls. Now, this was our first clue, like I said, that the market may have been ready to reverse. Of course, what we saw next was our second clue. The second clue that we got that the market was potentially ready to reverse or potentially starting a new trend here is that we got a bullish push back up. However, we were failing to create a higher high. You can see all along this trend, we were forming higher highs, and those were clear indications that the market was in an uptrend and that the buyers were in control. However, here we saw our first indication or second clue of a downtrend in the process of starting, right? And in fact, if we start to draw our trend line here, you can see we actually had the start of something big. We saw this level come into play in the market. Remember, all across the way, all across this long-term trend, we were forming higher highs and higher lows each time. But we finally had a failure. Clue number one was the failure to hold that support line. The next clue that we got was this lower high that formed here on the chart, showing us that bears were ready and they were serious and they were able to push price back down again. Now the third indication or signal has come into play that shows us that the market looks very bearish and that in fact the bulls are no longer in control and that the sellers or the bears actually have control here. We saw this level of support, which has held for many weeks, get violated and broken beneath. You can see XAU USD closed beneath this significant level of support, showing that sellers have the ball in their court and they are in full swing here controlling this market. Now, what we could have done as traders is we could have actually identified that at this point, when we had these series of lower highs here forming on the chart, that we could have actually gotten in on a pullback here and gone short, maybe even right around this level here, right? Because we had the anticipation that we were going to see a continued push to the downside when we knew that markets were breaking through structure already, right? So as a trader, how can we identify and use this to our advantage? Well, we see these clues, and when we see them happening in front of us, this can be a high probability entry for a new new potential trend start. In fact, even back here, we were saying, well, this structure has broken, and it's very possible that we do get a continued to the downside movement. Sure enough, we got a pullback and found resistance in again. So to recap on what we talked about, we have three major clues that a trend may be reversing. And these clues are possible things that you can look for to potentially find the start of new trends or the end of trends that are coming to exhaustion. Remember, recapping, we did have a bullish trend line here. And when we saw this structure break here, that was a clear indication that sellers may have some room to run here. And sure enough, our second indication was this forming of a lower high. All along this trend, we had a series of higher highs being formed. And finally, price was not able to form a higher high and in fact formed a lower high, showing us that the structure was now looking pretty bearish. And our third clue that the market was ready to start its downward trend is this break of structure here on the downside, breaking through structural support here. I hope this video has helped you guys. If it has, like I said in the beginning of this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video and also subscribe to the channel so that you can get more of my content sent to you. I also do live streams and all sorts of good content here on YouTube. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you have a great one.